are now listening to The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Courtney on the One Podcast Network. Let's get it.
This is The Box Out. It's an emergency podcast here on the One Podcast Network. My name is Kahlil Thomas. Joining me in a few minutes on this monumental last 24 hours. I don't even know what to say anymore, nor do I care what to say anymore. I went to sleep early last night, which never happens on a Saturday night. I usually stay awake. And for some reason, something told me, you probably shouldn't go to sleep early tonight. And damn it, I did. Big news today, last night, Luka Doncic traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Lakers. Anthony Davis moves from the Lakers to the Mavericks. Blockbuster trade, something that no one saw coming. Anthony Davis didn't know, LeBron didn't know, Luka didn't know. We'll get into that a little bit later. But it's a lot to take this trade in. And, I've spent the day reading and talking to people and trying to figure out what the hell happened here. But I'm going to start with Shams Charania from ESPN and his report on the trade and what he had to say about it. And we'll get right back to here and talk some more about it. So here's Shams from ESPN.
This deal materialized in the shadows. This came out of nowhere. This is maybe the most stunning trade, definitely that I've been a part of in recent NBA history as far as it was never clearly out there. And you saw two teams in Rob Pelinka with the Lakers, Dallas Mavericks, Nico Harrison there doing this deal. And I'm told Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, the players, coaches, a lot of people on both sides with the Mavericks and Lakers had no idea. I can assuredly tell you it's a fact. LeBron James had no idea this was coming. Anthony Davis had no idea this was coming. I'm told Luka Doncic is still stunned about this trade. But when you look at the totality of what just occurred, Luka Doncic is a 25-year-old, like you said, mega star, a perennial all-NBA player. He's someone that you think of as untouchable, as a guy that's never going to be traded. I'm told that the Mavericks actually approached the Lakers and offered Luka Doncic a few days ago in a trade. Very recently, the Mavericks went out. They knew exactly who they wanted. They wanted Anthony Davis. That's the player that if they were ever going to trade Luka Doncic, if this was even a thought that was going to cross their mind, it was for AD. And so the Mavericks called the Lakers, offered Luka Doncic, and that's when the Lakers had to huddle internally. They've never offered Anthony Davis ever in a trade. But if you're going to get offered Luka Doncic, that's when Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, and that organization, they had to meet. And it's Luka Doncic at the end of the day. And they went out, and he's a 25-year-old player. For the next decade, you can look at him as the face of your franchise.
And we're back. Jason Courtney, Jones from Brooklyn, New York. Jay, what the hell's going on?
I don't know, man. I thought Shams was hacked. I thought Woj played a trick on him. And yeah, I couldn't believe what went down last night in the middle of the night.
So let me go through the trade real fast. A three-team trade, which everyone kind of forgets about. The third team was Utah. The Lakers received Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris from Dallas. The Dallas acquires Anthony Davis, Max Christie, which I was shocked about, and the Lakers 2029 first-round pick. Utah gets Jalen Hood-Schifino, the LA Clippers 2025 second-round pick, and the Mavericks 2025 second-round pick as well. So what were your first thoughts when you heard the trade last night? I went to sleep early last night. After the Royal Rumble ended, I went to bed. So I missed all this last night.
When I got the message around midnight, I really thought it was a joke. And I was like, there's no way this really happened. And then as it proceeded later on in the morning, I was like, the Lakers did it again. I feel like the league is a farm system for the Lakers where no matter what, the Lakers will always get a top 5 player in their prime no matter the circumstantials, whatever. But I was more so shocked that one, this is all they got for Luka. I mean, this is all Dallas got for Luka. Two, there wasn't a bidding war. Three, like how we hear like Jimmy Butler want out, and people, normally guys want out. You hear about it. This came from out of left field. We didn't hear nothing about Dallas. We didn't hear nothing about the Lakers. Hell, last week AD said, "Hey, we need another big." Now the Lakers really need two bigs. But it's one of those situations where I really did not see this coming. I think long term, it's the Lakers have their new face for the next 5 years. This is going to be a real smooth transition from LeBron to Luka. But Dallas, I'm not sure what's going on. Clearly, Mark Cuban's not running the show anymore. And not to get into the political side of things, this starting to look like a real DEI hire. GM made a bad move here and gave away Luka for pennies on the dollar. Sorry, I had to go there. America. So, I'm sorry.
Nico Harrison, Mavs general manager, DEI hire. That's Donald Trump probably gonna like that one. He'll love that quote. Speaking of Nico Harris, here's a statement. He spoke to ESPN's Tim McMahon. I believe that defense was championships. I believe that getting an all-defensive center and an all-NBA player with a defensive mindset gives us a better chance. We're built to win now and in the future. So you give up a 25-year-old generational talent for a 31-year-old
Mr.
non-center who's has not been hurt yet. He's gonna get hurt eventually. I'm waiting for him to fall because he falls every game and looks like he hurts. You're waiting for that to happen. The other quote came from a statement from the Lakers. Luka is a one-of-a-kind young global superstar who will lead this franchise for years to come. This comes from Rob Pelinka, Lakers GM. His killer instincts and commitment to winning championships will be a driving force for the team. We will be relentless in building a roster around the on-court vision Coach Redick has built for this team, and there's an unwavering commitment to that work to serve our loyal and dedicated fans. We are grateful for today and look forward to what's next. The rumor going around with the Mavs is that Luka was going to be up for a supermax deal next year, and they had issues with his conditioning. And we've talked about Luka comes into camp not in shape, and he gets into shape as the season progresses.
Yeah.
So by February, March, Luka's in basketball shape, but Luka goes home and chills. The Mavs had an issue with that and kind of chalked it up to him not being serious about basketball, not winning championships. Do you think that's the reason why this happened, or do you think there's more to this than anyone knows about right now?
I think there's definitely more to it, but I definitely see this being the scapegoat reason where he doesn't seem like he wants to. It seems like to me they didn't want to give him a super max. And now he's ineligible for it, but he's still going to be able to sign, he's probably going to lose $120 million from what he would have gotten if he would have been eligible for that Supermax. So it's one of those things, was it really about the money? Because I feel like if Cuban was running the show, there's no way none of this happens. So I don't know where new ownership and Luka kind of had a fallout and everyone kept it on wraps. But it's one of those things where I think Luka's going to benefit going to a bigger market anyway in the long run.
So shout out, get some comments. John Thomas, hey Pop. I think something was going on behind the scenes. I think there's something. I think the money plays a role because if you're not really feeling the player, you're not going to give him $345 million. And that, I think the Supermax was $345. That was the number that was going around. Right. Tyler Thomas, what's up, Tyler? He says Jason Kidd say he supported the GM decision trade. I guess. Are you gonna push that?
Did Luka's antics become dispendable the moment Kyrie became a model citizen in Dallas?
I don't know. But even Kyrie being on his best behavior does not give you, like, I want to trade a 5-time All-NBA player who made the NBA Finals last year, who got close, for Anthony Davis, who honestly has done – and we talk about the bubble championship and
right.
how that doesn't count. I stand by that. The bubble championship means nothing to me at all. So yeah, AD got his title, but it was in the bubble. There'll be an asterisk next to it, like you put an asterisk next to Barry Bonds' home run record. Same thing. Are you gonna really just push off Luka Doncic and say, you know what, he's not in shape a lot. He's kind of big, and he gets hurt a lot. He's not in shape, but you know what? When the games matter in the spring, Luka Doncic comes to play. So if you get a hold September and October against him because he comes in at 260, great. But in the springtime when he's 230, hitting 25-foot threes, then you're gonna appreciate, okay, who cares if he's out of shape? I just feel like there's something more to this story than what we're getting right now.
And then considering this, like 2 to 3 years, he took you to the Western Conference Finals. Last year, he took you to the NBA Finals. He's never heard a whisper of trouble outside of him not being in basketball shape at the beginning of the season. So all of this is coming out of left field. It doesn't sit well for me. And the one call you make is to the Lakers. You're not even gonna start a bidding war to get more assets. Like it doesn't sound right. Man. This is a better coup than the Paul Gasol situation.
So there is a connection, and I didn't get the connection, so I heard it. Nico Harrison was the Nike rep that worked with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Rob Pelinka, the GM, was Kobe's agent. So there is a connection with Nico Harrison, Rob Pelinka. So, there's a comfort with those two guys. They work together. So you almost have to think Nico called Rob and said, hey, what do you think about this? And Rob was like, not bad. Let's think about it. And then that's when the conversation started. So I think the relationship kind of played a role in that. Luka does have a statement, or did have a statement for, I want to play, I wish I had my Childish Gambino song up here, but I don't have that. His statement, Dear Dallas, 7 years ago, I came as a teenager to pursue my dream of playing basketball at the highest level. I thought I spent my career here and wanted so badly to bring you a championship. The love and support you all have given me is more than I could have ever dreamed of. For a young kid from Slovenia coming to the U.S. for the first time, you made North Texas feel like home. In good times or bad, from injuries to the NBA Finals, your support never changed. Thank you not only for sharing my joy in our best moments, but for also lifting me up when I needed it most. To all the organizations I've worked with throughout the Dallas community, thank you for letting me contribute to your important work and joining you, bringing light to those who needed it. As I start the next part of my basketball journey, I'm leaving a city that will always feel like home, feel like a home away from home. Dallas is a special place, and Mavs fans are special fans. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Luka. Did you notice who he didn't mention in that statement? Did he mention the Mavs organization?
Absolutely not. He's probably salty as hell.
So obviously there's heat. There's some heat going on right here. Bruce, what's going on? Mark Cuban really loved Luka. The new owner does not care. The Mavs are just business. The new owners are the Adelson family, Vegas casino magnates. They just got the team. I think, was it last year or the year before?
Last year, yeah. Last year.
It was last year. Mark Cuban still has minority ownership, but he has no decision making anything ever. And people are already saying they should sell the team. Obviously, if you're another politics, the Adelson family are huge Republican donors. Not that means shit. I figured I'd just bring it up anyway because of the world we live in right now. It's Dallas. Yeah. But they're from Vegas, so I'm saying. On an Anthony Davis side, what does this move do for him? Because I feel like everybody's talking about the Luka part of it, but I feel like the Anthony Davis aspect of it is just like, he's like a throwaway like Markieff Morris is in this trade.
But from his side of things, if he can stay healthy for the rest of the season, I like their lineup, especially with him going back to his true position as the 4. I really like this lineup. But they get anything from Clay down the stretch. Kyrie's going to be a little rejuvenated a little bit now. He knows that he's going to be the real ball handler of the team. I think short term it's a good look for Dallas. Long term, it's going to be a head scratcher.
Yeah, I know there was some talk on social media about the comment he made about him needing to be a 4, not a 5, because obviously he did not want to be the center. He wants to be a power forward. He doesn't want to go down low, even though, in today's NBA, the center's not going down low and banging down low anymore. Right. So there was some talk about that, but I don't think that's a big enough reason to trade AD. But it seems like Dallas really wanted Anthony Davis and has always kind of coveted him.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this leave Dallas going forward? Not so much this year. I think people looking this year, future. What happens with the Mavs now? Because you lost your generational piece. You're bringing Anthony Davis at 31 years old. You got Kyrie, who's he's still balls out, but he's aging. You don't have that next star in the pipeline. Where does Dallas go next year, the year after?
That's a good question. I think that it's going to be middle of the road, but they have a legit shot right now to contend in the West. So I think they're gambling, no pun intended, to the casino owners. Maybe they're gambling on a short-term championship window here with AD, Kyrie, and the parts that they already have, which is, I already thought Dallas was a good team going into the season. Now I think with everybody playing their true position, this could actually, I think they could turn it up a little bit in the Western Conference. So I think short term, they might have a little championship window. I'll give them 2 years after that. If they need to break things down and start over, they have assets where like the Lakers' first round pick and other assets they can move around, and it'll be a quicker rebuild if they got to tear it straight down.
And with the Lakers, and I mean, I want to save this part towards the tail end of this emergency podcast here on the One Podcast Network. This is the Box Up. Kahlil, Thomas, Chase Corner. No one knew about this trade. Luka had no clue. Anthony Davis had no clue. And more importantly, LeBron James, after dropping a triple-double at the Garden last night, did not know either. He found out while he was at dinner with his family in the city last night. He already said, the sources came out, I think I can't remember who reported it, but he's staying through. He's not going anywhere. The Lakers already said LeBron's staying here, past the trade deadline next week. Can this work with Luka Doncic and LeBron James? Because LeBron needs the ball in his hand. Luka needs the ball in his hand. Is this let's get through this year, see what happens next year, but this is going to be Luka's team going forward, and LeBron's going to have to kind of like start passing that torch to Luka?
I think this year it'll work, but in terms of like they have no rim protector, no bigs. I don't know who you're going to play at the center, let alone the power forward right now. I think offensively they're going to be a good watch. They're going to be very entertaining. I think this is definitely a passing tour. This is like, okay, LeBron might give you one more year. We're going to – of course the Lakers are not going to trade him. There's too much money to be made in that farewell tour. So this is definitely a passing of the torch where now you solidify, you have your superstar after LeBron is done. I think that's something they didn't really see in Anthony Davis because of availability. He was never around. He was never there to give you more than 50 games a year. So I kind of see why the Lakers jumped on it. I mean, and I think 28 teams in the league would have jumped on the opportunity to grab Luka for pennies and dollars. So I can see why the Lakers did that. But for both teams, I don't know if this trade brings championship to both sides.
So there's questions in the chat comment section. Do we believe he did not know? And
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
I don't believe it. I think this is exactly why he showed up the way he showed up at the Garden last night. I think he knew.
I don't know. I'm kind of believing. I'm believing the sources.
But Rich Paul didn't. I think Rich Paul didn't know, but I think LeBron knew.
Sources told ESPN that Pelinka made 3 calls in quick succession: a joint call with Davis and JJ Redick, a call to Davis's agent Rich Paul, and then the call to LeBron. That was the order of phone calls.
Oh, I mean, you got to talk to. I believe that because you got to talk to Rich Paul, and I'm pretty sure Rich Paul on the side burner was texting LeBron.
Oh, look, I think Rich Paul definitely was texting LeBron on the side, saying, "Yo, you just got Luka. Rob's going to call you." But so I don't think he was in. I don't think he was in on the deal. But I definitely feel like Rich Paul on that phone call was like, "Yo, like this is what just happened. Be ready."
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see that. So here's a projected starting 5 for Dallas: Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford.
I like that line. I like that.
That's a top 5 Western Conference starting 5. I'm going to put that out there. And your reserves are Max Christie, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dante Exum, Najee Marshall, Dwight Powell. You take out Dante Exum, you have a good 9-man rotation. on this team.
Where's Dallas stacked up right now? Where's Dallas currently ranking in the West? They're 8th?
Let's check that out right now. They are currently in the Western Conference 9.
This could be a move. This could be a move if AD's healthy. They could definitely pass the play, and they could. I can see them finishing 6th or 5th if AD comes back and plays 20 more games for them. I can see them jump into the 5th or 6th spot. And
so right now, Dallas will have to leapfrog Phoenix, Minnesota, and the Clippers to get into that 1 through 6 spot. The Lakers sit in 5th right now. They would have to do a lot of work to even touch OKC. So I think their goal might be let's get the 4. And maybe have home court in the first round. Bruce makes a good point as well. This is the same LeBron that ships out teammates out the team. So I kind of see both ends of believing that he didn't know and then believing that he did know. I can kind of understand the it could be, I don't know. I'm going to take the sources of ESPN at their word that he had no idea about this trade. I'm pissed I went to sleep early last night. Now I can't go to sleep early ever again.
I was more on fumes from the Royal Rumble. I was like, and when I saw that tweet, I was like, this can't be real. There's no way this really happened.
Yeah, I gotta say.
And the Lakers made sure that happened after the game with the Knicks. They made sure it happened after the game.
In other news, Dallas lost by 43 to Cleveland tonight. So nowhere but up, right? There's nowhere to go but up.
We said top 5. We said top 5 in the West. We didn't say number 1 team in the West. We said top 5. We didn't say number 1.
Just top 5.
Yep.
All right. So that was Emergency Pod. We're not gonna stay here for an hour talking about it. It's been almost 24 hours. We want to get our 2 cents in. Tune in, Armchairing Wednesday. I know Bruce has got a lot more to say about this. Got a lot to say on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. We'll be back at a normal time on Thursday at 8 p.m. here on the One Podcast Network. For Jason, I'm Kahlil. Thanks so much for listening and watching. So, Luka Doncic, LA Laker. The rich keeps getting richer. For Jason Courtner, I'm Kahlil Thomas. We'll see you Thursday night. Peace.
This has been The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Courtner. Subscribe now for the best tri-state area basketball talk.